This now, the police and army are back on the streets, this time in Vosloorus, in east of Gauteng. They are trying to retrieve stolen goods after the looting and unrest of the past 2 weeks. Vosloorus was one of the looting hotspots in Gauteng. Not much detail has been given about the operation. Let me take you to eNCA's Silindelo Masikane, who is monitoring that operation and joins us now live from Vosloorus. So what exactly have you been able to observe, Silindelo, about the way that this operation is being carried out? Is it a firing blindly, as in you just go into a neighborhood and knock on doors and, some say kick down doors, hoping to find looted goods? Or is it intelligence-driven, information-driven, in that they're going based on a reasonable suspicion for them to carry out these searches?
Well, to us, those are some of the questions that we still have, which was really quite bizarre that this operation, there was no media liaison spokesperson from any of the departments of police or the SANDF who were here to back up the police in their operations in terms of what they're doing. So details around exactly how this operation began, in terms of was there information, was there intel that was provided to them, because they were very specific in terms of the area in which they came to. They came to the Nguni hostel here in Vosloorus, and the homes in which they targeted were mainly those that still had people inside of them. So unlike the scenes we saw last week where people's doors were being broken down and people's goods were being taken without them actually being there. That's not what we saw today, but certainly very well orchestrated, very well planned. The SANDF were the ones to move in first, surrounded the hostel, and then the police came in with their bakkies and started knocking on the doors where we had people still inside, and they began to ask them, look, we're here to conduct an operation, we are looking for looted goods, and they were then, of course, led inside. It didn't seem obviously like that it was forceful, but of course there was some authority in terms of them insisting that they need to search these homes, which they did, and a number of items retrieved, from crates of beer to fish oil, to some electronics, to clothing, to shoes, and a lot of those food staples that you would find in somebody's cupboard, but you could see that a lot of it was in bulk. So it does, of course, look like it's stuff that was taken possibly during the looting. But the question is, how do you know for sure? What are they actually going on? A lot of the times I heard the police officers saying, "Where's the receipt? Where's the receipt?" And people are like, "But we don't keep receipts. As soon as we leave the stores, most of the time you're going to throw it away, especially when it comes to food products. Electronics, possibly, yes, you could keep those because they have guarantees. But when it comes to food items, how do you really know for sure that somebody has looted these goods?" So that's some of the criticism that we're hearing coming from the residents here. I will try to speak to some of them. They are on the other side of the road, but a lot of people are really angered by this particular action, saying, yes, we agree that the looting was wrong, but how is this right?
Yeah. And I mean, in terms of, I hear that criticism, Silindelo, and it's those pitfalls that many people have been pointing to. But is it yielding anything by way of what the intended target was, by way of finding, goods that were obviously looted, that they are able to prove that these goods were looted?
That's really going to be the question, which is why I find it very strange that we don't have somebody from law enforcement that we could have spoken to say, look, how exactly are you going to prove that this stuff was looted? You yourselves don't have that proof. All you have are these food items in their bulk status. or you're finding some electronics that look new. But how are you going to really prove this in a court of law that those goods were looted? I am joined by some of the residents here who are really keen to speak to us. Bumama ninjani? Siyaphila. Cela ningitshele ukuthi nizizwa kanjani ngalento yenzakale namhlanje bathathe impahla bathathe ukudla nizizwa kanjani bathi iluthiwe le mpahla?
Sisi yabona kuba amaphoyisa bewasebenza ngabe lento ayenzekanga from the first time bokungangeneki mara thina sibone ngamaphoyisa ukuthi kuyangena and nawe angeke uzuyekele into ubuyidinga awunamali so bokumele uyithathe asinayi wena besoyenza wena ku umuntu omthetho ungena yena kuqala then azakutshela athi ngene ngesikhathi esikanje siyabuya sadubula wena bozohlalelana ungangeni nawe bongena kumele ungene uthathe whatever idingayo siyadinga lokudla lokhu bayokuchitha namhlanje sinabantwana thina sihlala nabogogo asisebenzi kunini sithenjisa imisebenzi kunini sithenjiswana kunzima ngikhola 450 umntana mngeni crash 600 samele ngiede phezulu kwalokho angisebenzi lezi zinto zingisizile kakhulu so manje mebasithatha kimi futhi angi-understand ukuthi why mabathathe lezi abasidingayo bashiyele ukudla ke sicela ukudla kuphela
yeah mama nizizwa kanjani bathi lokudla lokhu bazoyokulahla bayokuchitha lokudla?
Kubhlungu because bengamelanga ukuthi ngabe bayakuchitha ngoba especially kunabogogo esihlala nabe emakhaya amashop awekho la asisebenzi sinabantwana sinabogogo itificate sihleli nazo emakhaya which is lokudla loku kuyasiza ukuthi ugogo makazophuza amapilisi abe na something azoyifaka before azophuza amapilisi.
Alright ngiyabonga ne. Okay baba wena uzizwa kanjani bathi lokudla kuyochithwa impahla ziyolahlwa bakhiphile nje la ehostel?
Siziva kabuhlungu kabi ngalento abayenzile silimele manje sobuye sikuthole lokudla ngoba ukudla akusekho manje soyithatha phi imali kuye emadrobheni abogogo abanamali sokufatha isikhukhuza abogogo thathiwe nokudla sekuthengiwe manje khona manje kuthatha lokudla asazi ukuthi bayokusaba abantwana fanele baye esikolweni abanakudla nababuya bayokhalela thina.
Baba uthi wena khona okunye ukudla izinto abazithathile enizithengile zona manje angithi bathi bafuna ama-receipt
ngeke sisi uma uphuma esitore ngeke ubambe isliphu isliphu silahla from uphuma esitore uphuma nje esitore qeda ukuthenga isliphu uyasitahla uba usisebenzisa iveli slip uyayibona kodwa manje mazofika endlini uzongithathela into okungeyami ungangibuzi ukuthi lento isima kanjani which means
amaphosa ayishushilo sisi ukuthi lezi zinto lezi kufuneke bangazithatha ukudla bangawuthathi ezinye bangathatha amafriji ngani mara ukudla bawushiye uyabona nifanana nala ma-350 ngani kufuneka zama ukuthi increase le mali yama-350 kube yi-500 uyabona sisi siyabonga
yabona njengami sisi nginenkinga mina nalo 350 angaze ngawuthola sukela wathi inhloko namanye ngaba ukuthi uzobhaliswa zona lezi zinto lezi vele ngeke ugcine isliphu somgroza uzosigcina womama bagcina isliphu nakhona not esemgroza ngeke usigcine nginehempa kumanje ngayithenga ikhombi eShoprite ngizofuna isliphu sayo lento le.
As you can hear to us the consensus yebo
sizinkinga yethu bathatha lokudla lokhu bakuthathe bayokuthengisela abanye abantu hayi ukuthi bayokuthatha bakuchitha bathatha notshwala bathatha yonke into babuthathe babunikise kumathaveni bathengane ingako nje sikhala kanje.
Okay, to us as you can hear the consensus that look they looted because they are desperate, they are in financial distress, they are not working, they're unemployed. Yes, they know it was wrong, but they feel that they didn't have a choice, and that what the police are doing now is just further plunging them into the poverty that they're already in.
Yeah, absolutely. We heard loud and clear the concerns, for instance, around the demand for receipts for goods purchased. To say, who keeps a receipt? I mean, you probably would keep a receipt for big electronic stuff that you buy for the warranty, but for general day-to-day shopping, I really don't know anyone who can show you a receipt for anything that they bought recently. It is complex. Thank you for that. That's eNCA's Silindelo Masikane out in Vosloorus. It is complex.